So you're over 40 years old and you want to lose weight. You probably already know that it's a lot harder to lose weight when you're over 40. One person tells you that you need to eat low carbs, another person tells you that you need to do intermittent fasting, and then maybe someone else tells you that you need to deprive yourself of your favorite foods. Please, don't do that. All you want to have is just a week-by-week plan that tells you exactly what you need to do to start to lose weight. Well, you guessed it, because you're in luck, because today that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in today's video. So grab a notebook and a pen. Like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna get right to it, but before I get into your 4-week plan, first I'm gonna get into what you should be doing first to prepare you for your 4-week journey. So to prepare you, I have one important question for you. What is your why? You need to have a strong and clear why as to why you want to lose weight, because when your why is strong, you can do anything. What is the fire that stirs you? What is it that will make you wake up and say, I will do this even when I don't feel like it? What is it that's going to make you say, I will do whatever it takes to overcome temptation, quit, or making excuses? Knowing your why is so important because it's your reason to take action every day. You have to make your why bigger than your whining. The reason why you want to achieve this goal must be bigger than any excuse you have not to take action. Week 1, awareness of your current habits. How do you do that? With the tool that I'm about to share with you. Studies show that people who use this tool lose twice the amount of weight than those who don't. I'm living proof because that's where I started before I went on to lose 30 pounds. So what's the tool? A food journal. In week 1, you're building your roadmap, which the journal will reveal to you. Doing this for 7 days will give you a lot of data to work with. A food journal helps you to get awareness of what, when, why, and how much you're eating. It helps you to get from where you are to where you want to go. So here's a quick example of what this could look like. In your food journal, note the date and time you ate the food, what you ate, the context, i.e. feeling stressed, the thought you had, and the emotion you were feeling. Let's say you got into an argument with your partner. That's the event. That left you feeling like you were treated unfairly. The emotion you felt was anger. Maybe you caved into ice cream on Wednesday at 8 p.m. The food journal will also help you to better understand your eating habits, triggers, and your emotional relationship with food. So I suggest even tracking what thoughts or emotions you experienced when you caved into those foods. People don't understand what their triggers are to cause them to overeat or to have bad habits. And that's why I wanted to share 5 common habit triggers. I cover this in my book Unbreakable, but for the sake of time, I'll just touch on the 2 most common. As someone who struggled to lose weight, I could identify with both of these. And as I share these with you, think about any bad eating habits you have and pay close attention to which trigger resonates with you the most. Time is perhaps the most common habit trigger. For example, grabbing a cookie or a latte with extra whip at the same time each afternoon. The next time that craving hits, ask yourself, how am I feeling in that moment? In most cases, your habits are an indication of how you felt at that time. Boredom, stress, or anxiety. If you understand why that habit pops up at the same time every day, it's going to be easier to replace that habit. Your environment. Before I got a handle on my bad eating habits, I always kept cookies in plain sight on my kitchen counter. And sometimes I ate them not because I wanted them, but because they were right there in front of me. If you can relate to that, then you understand the power of location or environment, which is one of the most powerful triggers of bad or mindless eating habits. Take some time to capture which trigger you fall prey to the most in your food journal. Week 2, start small. Many people give up because they feel overwhelmed. They feel overwhelmed because they try to change everything at once. This is why the food journal is so important. It helps you to know where to start, and it also helps to identify triggers. This is where I started on my weight loss journey. I started tracking how much sugar I was putting into my coffee each day, and when I realized how much I was adding, that became my starting point. Again, refer to your food journal and notice any patterns for your bad eating habits. In terms of nutrition, this is where I suggest you start. You need to get more protein to build and maintain muscle, because you lose muscle mass over the age of 40. You should be getting 1 gram of protein for every 1 pound of body weight. If you weigh over 170 pounds, go for your goal body weight. For example, if you want to weigh 150 pounds, eat 150 grams of protein per day. Also make sure to get protein at each and every meal and snack. Some great high protein options include Greek yogurt or protein shakes. You can also use a tracker like MyFitnessPal to track your protein intake. Reduce alcohol consumption. Binge drinking and over drinking is very problematic at age 40 and also ages you fast. Take the time to identify triggers that cause you to drink. Determine when and why you drink alcohol. Forget about low-carb diets. Low-carb diets don't work. Not for the long run. You need carbs for your brain health and your mood. Leading up to perimenopause, you have a lot of inflammation in your body, which could be a barrier to weight loss and losing fat. For example, too much stress, which raises cortisol, not enough sleep, which throws off hormones like ghrelin and leptin. This hormone imbalance It makes you hungry, which affects your decision-making capability. Focus on foods that enhance your gut health. When you're over 40, your gut starts to change due to changes in hormones. Taking a probiotic will help. Signs of a gut imbalance? Well, bloating. Foods are difficult to digest. Dairy and gluten are the biggest culprits. Also, what's good for your gut is good for your brain and your mood. Serotonin, which is responsible for making you feel calm and aids the body in coping with depression, stress, and anxiety, is actually produced in the gut. Women that have low levels of serotonin are more prone to anxiety, depression, and binge eating. Again, this neurotransmitter is produced in the gut, so when you're stressed, it affects your gut health, which affects your mood. Reduce processed foods. Processed foods really disrupt hormones, especially emulsifiers, which are found in foods like ice cream, coffee creamers, and salad dressing. Here's the thing. Many women know what they need to do or what they need to eat, but they just can't get around to doing it. And they feel like weight loss or eating healthy is deprivation or torture. They also have strong cravings for sugary foods. There could be lots of reasons for this, and also certain nutrient deficiencies as well. Some women can eat really healthy throughout the day, for example, but then things fall apart during the evenings or especially on the weekends, and then they eat a lot of high sugar or high salt foods. Then you feel like you can't control your cravings, and then you feel completely out of control with food. Lack of sleep and stress can cause you to have these cravings, so you need to manage both. In fact, let's talk about stress first. Stress can have devastating long-term consequences for your health as well as your weight loss efforts. Some studies show that high cortisol levels can increase appetite and make you store abdominal fat. So increased cortisol leads to more stomach fat, and increased cortisol leads to chronic inflammation in your body. Now, sometimes it can feel like stress is all around us. We're trying to meet more demands than ever before, and our self-care routine gets pushed by the wayside. Now, have you ever been stressed out and immediately wanted to reach for that comfort food? Well, that's your body on stress. In fact, some studies show that 75% of overeating is caused by emotions. If you're like most people, then you probably turn to food to handle stress. When we're stressed, we typically turn to foods like white flour, sugar, and fried foods, which increase inflammation and stress hormone production. So stress leads to bad food choices and poor sleep habits, which lead to internal stress. Also, we talked about neurotransmitters earlier. Well, when you're stressed out, it wears out your neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the feel-good hormones. Now, stress plays a big part in your overall health, and most importantly, your ability to lose weight, avoid disease, and live a healthier lifestyle. Continued stress takes a toll on your body and your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to disease, colds, and the flu, and it's also a major contributor to weight gain. During every moment of the day, there's inflammation being relayed between your body and your brain and your environment. So your brain is always monitoring what's going on with you. It's checking everything from your breath to your hormone levels to what's happening in your gut to the many things that are happening to you in the outside world. It's taking all of this information in that's telling your body kind of like what state you're in. So all of these sources of information, they talk to each other and they ask one simple question: am I safe or am I under threat? Now, if mindset is an issue for you, for example, maybe not loving yourself or past trauma, you can experience this and manifest this through food and turn to food to soothe this. Now, you need to tackle this before you start anything else. So talking to a trusted professional may help. Make healthy eating easier with healthy food swaps. Because you can't break a bad habit, you have to replace it. Now, if you're finding it hard to control your eating, then my Swap It Don't Stop It challenge will help you with both of those things. You'll receive healthy replacements for your favorite foods and how to achieve the mindset for success. Mindset really is the foundation for weight loss or any changes in your life, really. It's not just providing you with a meal plan, it's receiving the guidance and the support you need to make lasting changes in your life and your health. If you check the description, you'll see a link to join the challenge. Week 3, celebrate non-scale victories. People get so tied to the number on the scale. Let's face it, losing weight takes hard work, but many who start the journey obsess over the number on the scale as the only way to measure progress. Not so. There are so many milestones you'll reach on your way to hitting your target weight, and you owe it to yourself to celebrate. Once you start noticing these milestones, you'll be even more motivated to keep practicing your healthy habits as you continue your journey to a healthier you. We'll chat more about milestones in a second. Non-scale victories. These are extremely important to push you during your overall transformation. Only eating one slice of cake for dessert when you normally have 2, or walking up a flight of stairs at work instead of taking the elevator. These are simple examples of victories you can score off the scale that can ultimately lead to your success on the scale. Other non-scale victory examples: not eating fast food for 1 week, getting off medication, climbing the stairs without being out of breath, sleeping through the night without waking up. Week 4, how are you going to be held accountable? What will you do when you fall off track? Sometimes when making changes in our lives, especially the difficult ones, it comes down to accountability. So who can you get to hold you accountable for the things that you say that you're going to do? By having an accountability partner, you can accelerate the process of reaching your health goals. This is where I struggled for a long time. I lost so much time, in fact, that I wished I realized the power of accountability sooner. So who can you get to hold you accountable? I often find with my clients that they don't want to tell people when they're trying to lose weight or eat healthier because they think to themselves, well, if I tell people but then I don't lose weight, what happens then? See, right there, you're already setting yourself up for failure. Pay close attention to the language that you use. Instead of thinking about all the things that could go wrong, think of all the things that could go right. Those things that even extend beyond weight loss, like more confidence, younger looking skin, a better sex drive. Finding someone to keep you accountable is also helpful for feedback and enforcement. It can be helpful to get feedback from outside sources. Having a friend or maybe even a health coach regularly check in with you can provide an external measuring stick. Feedback about your diet or exercise routine can also provide motivation or help you to adjust your behavior or troubleshoot. Outside feedback can also help to keep your expectations ambitious but realistic. That's why in my upcoming Swap It, Don't Stop It challenge, you'll get the accountability you need without getting stuck. Stop making the same mistakes over and over again so that you can stop wasting time. You'll receive daily motivation so that making healthy changes becomes easier. The enrollment for my challenge is now open at the time of this episode, so if you want to save your spot, there's a link in the description so that you can join. I'll see you in the challenge. Also, let me know in the comments below which one of these tips you're going to use to start to lose weight over 40.